In this video, we're going to be talking about how to solve for the area of a circle. Remember when we looked at area before of like squares and rectangles? The area is the part in the middle. So this doesn't work as well as when we talked about sort of the lawn and the fence being the perimeter and the lawn being the area, the inside. But we want to know if we could fill this shape up with tiny square centimeters, for example, how many of those tiny square centimeters could we fit in there? Keeping in mind that there's going to be a little bit of a square over here, a little bit over there. Fortunately, some incredibly smart person has figured out that there is a consistent formula that works. So our area of a circle can be calculated by going pi times the radius squared. Remembering our radius is the measurement from the middle of the circle to the outside. This example says the diameter of a circle is 8 millimeters. What is the circle's area? Use 3.14 for pi, and the answer goes in square centimeters or centimeters squared, millimeters squared down here. But Miss Cooper calls for the radius, and they've given us the diameter. Be careful, that's a trap. Just a quick, easy one for us to fix, but recognize that they've given us the diameter is 8. So obviously our radius to start is going to be 4 millimeters. Now it's really simply just a matter of filling in the formula. So our area of a circle equals pi times r squared. So let's fill things in. Area of a circle is pi is 3.14. Our radius is 4 squared. Our radius is 4, and then we have to put in the squared, like in the formula. Think back to order of operations. Bedmass, brackets, no. Exponents, yes. So we always have to do the exponents before we go on to the multiplication stuff. Think bedmass. So 4 squared, 4 times 4 is 16. So now we just have 3.14 times 16, which I'm going to go ahead and do in my calculator. I'm thinking about it. 3 times 15 I know is about 45, so it should be somewhere 45, 50-ish. Let's see. So I just typed it into my calculator, 3.14 times 16, and my answer, as kind of estimated, was 50.24 millimeters squared. Remember this part. If you don't write that on a quiz in the future, they will not give you credit for getting the answer right. If you just write millimeters, you're talking about a straight line. We're talking about area. So we have to say 50 and 0.24 and 2/24 hundredths of a tiny square millimeter will fit in this shape. Have to have that square in there. A similar example here. The diameter of a circle is 6 kilometers. What is the circle's area? Use 3.14 for pi. Answer in square kilometers. So we have our diameter is 6, but we need our radius. So I'm going to start by going the radius equals 3 kilometers. Okay, now I can fill it in. Area of a circle equals pi times 3 squared. So exponents first. Pi times 3 is 9. So pi times 9 I'm going to do on my calculator. Think about that, 3.14 times 9. That's going to be somewhere around 27-ish. And our answer comes out to be 28.26 kilometers squared. So that's my area of the circle. In this last example, it's getting us to use our algebraic skills again, where it's given us the area and we have to solve for the radius. So let's read it. The area of a circle is 28.26 square centimeters. What is the circle's diameter? Notice it's not asking for the radius, sorry, it's asking for the diameter. Don't fall in that trap. So let's fill in what we have. The area is 28.26 centimeters squared equals pi, we know, is 3.14 times, we don't know what the radius is, but we know that it is squared. Now this is going to be a little bit difficult for some of you because we have not talked about taking square roots. So I'm going to introduce that to you right now. But first let's do our our step where I can turn this around. R squared times 3.14, so equals 28.26 centimeters squared. So divided by 3.14, divided by 3.14, cancels out. I'm going to do the division on my calculator. And it says that 28.26 divided by 3.14 is 9. So 9 equals r squared. So we haven't talked about square roots. A square root is the opposite of an exponent. My guess is, just like right here, they're going to make it easy ones for you to answer, because that's not really something we're going to get into too much in grade 7. Hopefully you can look at this and think, what times itself, or what times what, being the same numbers, equals 9. I hope you can figure out that the answer should be 3, because you can think 3 times 3 equals 9, and that is 3 squared. If you can't see that, this is a square root sign. It is on your calculator. So if you type this symbol on your calculator and then write 9, it will tell you that the answer is 3. A square root is anything where it's the number times itself. So the square root of 16 is 4. The square root of 4 is 2, because it's 2 times 2. 16 is 4 times 4. The square root of 25 is 5. 5 times 5 is 25. The square root of 64 is 8. 8 times 8 is 64. It is the opposite operation to this. So we have now figured out that our radius right here must be a 3. So r equals 3. Whether you figured it out just by thinking, oh, 3 squared or 3 times 3 is 9, or you went into your calculator and said, okay, what is the square root of 9? It's 3. We know our radius is 3. But remember this last step, so you don't do all this work and then get it wrong? It wants the diameter. So if the radius is 3 centimeters, then our diameter must be 6 centimeters, twice that. Ms. Cooper, how come the area was in centimeters squared, but the radius is only centimeters? Think about the difference in those measurements. The area is the measurement of how many tiny squares can fit in the circle. The radius is just the measurement from the center of the circle to the edge. So that is a straight line. So the diameter, which goes from one side to the other, is 6. That's all for this video. Good luck with this section. Remember to please ask me if you have any further questions.